It has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late night on the 25th, and there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No,
Why?
because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not, my client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi, Dad. I know this is gonna sound weird, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some decent clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday with all decent clothes? Mom.
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
Got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you'll beg me please. Hey. Now I'll stay away. You were never meant to save me. Now I stay away, I'll hear you say you're sorry. Hate I even loved you, hate I fell in love with you. Hate I even loved you, hate I kinda fell in love with you. Hate I even loved you, hate I fell in love with you. Hate I even loved you, hate I kinda fell in love with you. With you, I cried with you, now wanna be alone. I lied for you, I tried for you, you wouldn't play alone. I got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be.
All right, welcome. Happy Friday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope everybody is doing well. Here we are on the weekend. I do apologize. I did want to go live earlier this week, but a lot of things happening behind the scenes. Wish they would happen faster, but it's kind of a tricky situation with the holidays coming up, and then we have, winter, and so many things need to line up right at the right moment, especially around this time of year. But hoping we will be able to do the stuff that we need to sooner than later. I think no matter what, it will happen. It's just, again, finding the stuff that we have discovered. And then again, this is just before the holidays. And then as the weather gets colder, and then there's always that possibility that, tomorrow it'll snow out there. That could create issues. So it's really a tough situation right now. But I have discovered more stuff, which just more lines up with the bigger picture that we have, that eventually we can release all of the details. But until then, I still got to be patient. But I can share some of the stuff I've discovered. And in a way, in my opinion, it's pretty big. Actually, it's really big when you get to see the full picture. But yeah. So with that, we will get into it. And as always, happy holidays to everyone out there. Less than a week away from Christmas. It's kind of wild. Got the wrong burgundy. Yeah. Oh, I love Ron. Good to see you, Cat Lady. Let's see here. If you can, hit that like button. Again, this is, in my opinion, one of the biggest leads right now. And yeah, there's a lot going on between the night before Sebastian went missing and the night of. And if anybody's coming in and hasn't been involved with what we've been kind of covering for the last month or so, we'll kind of recap and then give me about 10-15 minutes tops, and I'll get into the newer stuff that I discovered. The members and patrons kind of know a little bit about what I've discovered, but literally I've discovered stuff a couple hours before I went live. And so it's just adding more to the picture of what may or may not have happened on the night before he went missing. Just some really odd activity in an area you wouldn't expect to have activity at. And again, we're looking at an area that is right next door to where Sebastian went missing. So I think it's a huge, huge deal. And man, I really, really wish certain entities would hurry up, and because everybody else is ready to go, but yeah, it is a little frustrating. So, all right, let's get over, just do a little background and up, just kind of little timeline of everything, and then yeah, exactly, no coincidences. Yeah, especially in true crime, there's just way too much going on, just way too much. And as I go through this, I'll explain even more how odd this is, because I told you guys I've looked at other footage, other days, and I've also now have other stuff to gauge on what is normal, for what is the normal times for things to be going on in the cemetery, and then when things go quiet. And from my decent sample source that I have, this is a huge anomaly. This is not normal. And I do not think this is no coincidence that this activity happens the night before he goes missing, and then of course the night he does go missing. But some of the stuff that I discovered is the night before he went missing. Were they preparing for something? Was there a meetup that they were kind of scouting for? Maybe they moved him on the night of the 26th, the 3 a.m. video, and then did they go to the cemetery? Did they meet up there and then move him somewhere else? Could he still be around in that area? I mean, anything's possible, but there's just more and more stuff that keeps coming out. And then on top of that, just a sneak peek, I learned, and I have not even watched this because I've been so busy behind the scenes with stuff. But if you guys haven't heard, and I'll be watching it with you guys for the first time. So I'm sure if you followed the Sebastian case, you probably heard of CJ. Now, I don't know a lot about CJ. If you guys do and can provide some context, he also worked with Narc Divers, which is Trey. I believe they assisted in, at least Trey, Narc Divers, I believe they assisted, correct me if I'm wrong, assisted in the Riley Strand case. And then, of course, because that was, not far from where Sebastian went missing. And, of course, just as they discovered Riley, Sebastian went missing. And so they were out there. And anyway, long story short, they went out there. I don't know the date. If someone knows, I'm sure if anybody, hindsight, probably have a date. CJ was out there with Trey, searching around the cemetery. And again, I have not seen this video, so I'm just kind of going off word of mouth. But we'll watch it towards the end. This just adds more to, like, this is something's off here. There's too many things going on. But they're out there, I think, like a month or two after he went missing. And they go out there and they're searching around the cemetery, I believe, and around that area. And apparently there's serpentine belts. So they had a vehicle. Obviously, they drove it out. And while they're out there, apparently, again, I have not seen this video. I'm just word of mouth, so I may get something wrong. Correct me if I do. But when they're out there, they see like some strange vehicle and person. And on top of that, when they're done, they go back and they realize someone cut their serpentine belt. That is super odd. So their car was literally vandalized when they were out there searching. And keep in mind, this is around the time that, all these searchers, volunteers, and what's that other agency? They got basically threatened, to stop the search. So anyway, I don't think this is a coincidence, but we'll watch it. I'm not watching actually CJ's video. This is taken from Cliff Notes, so shout out to them. And anyway, this will be at the end, but I just wanted to kind of jump forward and say, here's another thing that's super odd. Cajun Navy, thank you. Where, these people are out there trying to help, and someone cuts their serpentine belt. And I think maybe something with their tire as well, if I'm wrong. That is absolutely bizarre. Never heard of that in a case like this. Dolly went out there. Yeah. Yeah, that's so weird. A lot of people. Again, there's other entities that I know that were kind of working with Cajun and kind of assisting Cajun. Just kind of like how CJ assists Narc or Trey. And yeah, they had issues. And they weren't far from all of this, where we're at, where we're looking. It's super odd. So anyway, let's recap here for a minute for anybody that does may not know what's going on. Yeah, and it's unheard of. I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised it's happened before, but it's not common. Especially in a more high-profile case like this. Very weird. Very, very weird. So, anyway, let's get into it. So, just a brief recap. Anybody hasn't seen my latest videos. So what we're looking at here, and again, if you have seen this, I'll try to kind of keep it short and get to the stuff that I discovered recently. But We have surveillance from one of the homes up here, and they've got multiple cameras that look in the construction area. One points one way and one points the other way, and they kind of overlap like this as well. But we are looking beyond the construction, and our focus is in this area here. Now, we do see lights. The lights that you're going to see in the background kind of come from the stadium back here. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're at. But here's kind of a daytime shot filtered with an overlay of the nighttime shot here. Oh, Trent says to cut a serpentine belt, you would have to lay on your back under the front of the car. So this isn't like they're just lifting up a hood and, well, I guess you'd have to have access to be able to lift up the hood. Wow. Yeah, I'm not a big car guy. So yeah, so basically Trent's saying like that isn't just, that isn't just puncturing a tire. You are really deliberately, I wonder if they ever kept that serpentine belt, I don't know if anybody knows in the chat. Again, we'll watch that later. But somebody sent that to me earlier this week, and I just heard the, like a summary of it, but I have not had the chance to watch it because, stuff going on behind the scenes and discovering new stuff. So anyway, one of the things that caught my attention right away. So here's an overlay, and you can see the bleachers, and so this kind of gives you an idea of what's kind of in the background, what lights are what, and then we have this what's called a columbarium. It's a little memorial thing that's sitting in front of the pond, and we'll see it here in just a second. And this is for people who prefer to be cremated, and then they just have, plaques for them on this columbarium. And a lot of the activity is going on around in this area. And the main thing is this columbarium right here. And then we have the pond and everything back there and the school behind it. And this columbarium is the thing that's getting illuminated. And the other thing I also was researching these past few days is kind of looking at it before it lights up, because it lights up for about 6 minutes. And we've already gone over how we've kind of figured out it's the columbarium. There's only so many things out there, right? There's in that particular area that could be this object, and it's clear this is what it is. It's a rectangle object that's being lit up, and that's what this columbarium is. Again, it does not have any lights, so whatever it is, it's not being lit up by some natural light source that's sitting around it. And again, activity, I've seen it even more. I have more to go with. I can't say how, but I can tell you what usually goes on in this cemetery is from about 10 a.m. we see the maintenance guy or whatever. He comes usually about 10 a.m. This is kind of more in the wintertime, so I don't know, maybe when it's not as cold, maybe he shows up at 9. I don't know, but around this time of year he shows up about 10 a.m. Then you have some maybe random people. It's not a big cemetery, right? So there's not a lot going on. And then about 5 p.m. or about this time, because it starts to get dark, then it's it. And then it's the next day. No activity at night. So why is it that on the night before he goes missing, this thing lights up for about 6 minutes, but even before that, this is the other thing I've been looking at. Oh, the belt was nowhere to be. No way. So it wasn't like they just blew the belt and just like thought, oh, somebody cut it. The belt was gone? Wow. Not to get sidetracked, but yeah, I get it. I don't know about cars. I don't know if the can you still drive it with the serpentine belt? Again, I'm not a car guy, but I'm pretty sure you need that, right? Isn't that a I don't know. I'm not gonna admit. Sounds like Trent, and I'm sure there's some other car people that could probably explain it better. But I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, I think it's always good to look at all possibilities, like Alan and some others are saying. But only 3 months old. Yeah. I think at the very least you got to take it into consideration, considering everything else, right? And then if once we can reveal the whole picture, I think then you'd be like, okay, you know, yeah, this is something's off here. Wow. You could drive it for a short period of time. That's interesting. Huh. That is weird. That is weird. Okay. So anyway, we'll get into the new stuff here in just a second. Um, so we have that Columbrium. Now we're just talking about the night before he went missing. And we have that Columbrium that lights up from approximately 3:32 a.m. to 3:28. But we do see it, and I'll show it here in a bit. You can tell there's activity in the cemetery before it fully lights up because you can see it kind of like there's little glimmers of it, like getting lit up, right? But it's nothing like we see when it's fully lit up. So that tells me that there's definitely activity going around. But we showed that there was after the 6 minutes of the Columbrium being lit up, about 15 minutes later, we see a vehicle drive by up on the upper end of the loop here at 3:45. And then 5 minutes later, and that's on this loop here where it's higher up. So any cars that are driving on the loop here on the east side, they would be concealed, especially from this camera because it's of the level difference. Give me a second here, but anybody basically driving, anywhere around here, we're not going to see it unless their lights happen to hit the Columbrium, and then we see some, a little bit of activity, which I'll show a little bit later. But we do believe because on the 26th, we do see a car enter or leave. I'm sorry. So that's where we think the car was seen at, somewhere around here on the upper end. As you can see, the elevation change. But what I'm going to show you here in a little bit is much more wild here. And I'll get to super chat here in just a bit. Just kind of want to run through some of this because I know most of you guys have seen this. But this is what's odd about the 25th is we don't see any cars enter. I've looked. There's still always a possibility I could have missed something. But on the 26th, the night he goes missing, we see a vehicle leave out the entrance of the church. It's caught on 2 cameras. So if we can see a vehicle leaving the church and there's only one road from that entrance, which you're seeing right here, then we should expect, unless the vehicle came in with the headlights off, we should expect to see a vehicle with its lights going right to left on two different cameras, but we do not on the 25th before he went missing. That is really odd. And there is the example right there of the 26 of a car leaving, and that is in the cemetery. Just about where I showed that vehicle of Silver's where he was driving. And that's just kind of a daytime with an overlay shot with the nighttime there. But very clear, we can see where that is. And I just want to emphasize how important that is because on the 25th, we do not see that. And here on the other camera, so this is a different camera. So obviously it's positioned in front of another different tree. So much more obstruction by trees. But we still can see the vehicle very clearly going through the cemetery leaving. So, anywho, that means that this vehicle on the 25th, or vehicles, which is what we're gonna show here in a bit, likely came from Ward Lane. And what's interesting is that has a private gate. Now we have seen it where it's been unlocked and it's open, but other times, especially when Silvers went out there, it was padlocked, and I think now, more recently, it has like a keypad lock or like a key code thing on it. And so yeah, the big question would be is who has access to this gate right here if they came in through this way. Okay, so about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to show you the new stuff here. Just let people kind of filter in. But we got a lot, and again, we'll get into what happened on the other thing as well. I'll have to extend the goal. I'm sorry. I think I put it for 30 minutes. I was probably dumb. Pocahontas, thank you so much for the support, everything you do. It really helps, and man, I really wish we could explain, what we may or may not need that for. Well, more or less may. But unfortunately, until the time is right, I just can't get into the specific details at this time. But everybody that's been with me for a while knows that if I ask for money for a particular case, that money will be used for that case. And again, in my opinion, this is potentially probably one of the biggest leads right now and possibly in a long time, in my opinion. Peggy says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much, Peggy, for the support. And Jocelyn, thank you for your passion and dedication to finding Sebastian. I really appreciate that. I'll have to set up a new goal there. But thank you guys so much. I'll set one up here in a little bit. I forgot to set the timer. Anyway. So yeah. So now, the Columbrium lights on the 25th start up at about 3:23ish. And they go for about 6 minutes, and then we see the vehicles and up until about 3:50. So we have at least 30 minutes plus of activity on the night before he went missing. But I can guarantee that's much more, because I can see the Columbrium lights being lit up before it fully illuminates. I can see it kind of illuminate a little bit here and there. It's not like how we see it here. But it's clear that there's cars or vehicles with lights causing it to light up. So that tells me that there's one or more vehicles in that loop area illuminating this. But one of the things that we learned when we did the experiment, and this is the one thing we have to hold on to until the time is right, and I promise you, when that time is right, when you guys see how it's lit up and how we discovered it, I would say it could potentially break the internet. I don't know. That might be putting the pedestal or the horse before the cart, but it's going to be pretty shocking. Because again, we could not get it to light up just by driving back and forth. Silver's tried, it would illuminate, but it wouldn't illuminate the entire thing. It was only until one specific thing towards the end of their research that they did, and it was wild. It was very emotional. So moving on. Okay, so new stuff. All right, I'm gonna show new stuff that I've discovered. So as you can see, it's the 25th. As you can see, it's 3:18. Now I wanted to kind of show this as I was talking about. You'll notice now this is zoomed in heavily. This is where the columbrium is. You'll notice it'll get illuminated here and there. I almost wish I didn't zoom it in as much as I did. I really wanted to make sure you guys could see it. But you can definitely tell that it's something's activating it, right? Because you can kind of start to see it be illuminated here and there. See, just like this. Which tells me it starts about 3:16, 3:20, 3:32, 3:16. So about 6 minutes before, and see, you can see it here. Just being illuminated a little bit here and there. Tells me that they were driving around, possibly activating it. And see right here, 3:20, you can see a little bit of it being illuminated, and yeah, there's a couple of instances before we see it just fully illuminate, but there's clearly something going on that's causing that thing to just kind of slowly be illuminated, but nothing like what we see when it gets illuminated at 3:23. Now we start to see it right there. And as I fast forward, now you can see as it gets more and more illuminated. Boom. And to get that effect, again, they were out there for a couple of days, trying just about everything to light it up. We had different teams, different positions. Unfortunately, we can't just have this same camera and then have them go drive it around because we have all the homes now out there. So unfortunately, we can't just have like a camera here and then have somebody drive around and do different experiments, because now all these homes here are all up here, and so it's blocked. So we had to kind of compromise, but we still were able to get some people into some positions that, although it's not as far, we were still in about the same line of sight, just closer, looking at the columbrium. So I cannot wait till we can reveal that. Yeah, I see some ideas about like grave sites and certain stuff like that. Anything's possible, right? And I there's multiple areas I'm concerned with. Maybe inside the cemetery, maybe by the pond because of the columbarium being lit up. You got the pond there, and then maybe just on the outskirts of the cemetery as well, right? There's many different possibilities, but I do see some people putting in certain ideas, and they're all valid. And I promise you, we are going to look into everything. Most of what you guys have probably mentioned is already in the works. But yeah, I agree, Jason. I feel like I've said this to other people. I'm like, I feel like looking at all this footage for hours on hours on hours on hours, staring at pixels and pixels and pixels, where I start to dream about it, literally. Um, it does make me like, when this is over, again, I want to put the horse before the cart, but it's like, when this is all said and done, it's like, yeah, who should I send the bill to? Because not only me, but a lot of people have spent a lot of time looking into this case, and again, not even in just this general thing, but looking in other areas as well. Right? There's people in the chat looking at other potential leads. So just in case if this fails, there's other stuff, but there's a lot more to this that I'll kind of explain in a little bit. But here we go. All right, hit that like button because I'm going to show you guys and drop a few bombshells on you guys here about what happened on the 25th. No, I don't know if there's a new maintenance guy before, or not. Okay. Thank you for that, who sent that to me. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's show this, and then I'll set up a new goal, because, again, it just, man. So anyway, new discoveries. Here we go. All right. So what I found odd, right, up until this week is on the 25th, we have this Columbarium thing light up, right? We don't see any vehicles coming in. I don't see any vehicles moving around before it. I do see the Columbarium thing get kind of lit up here and there before it fully illuminates, telling me that they're in there, around the 320 mark, but I don't see them. Now, after the Columbarium light dissipates at about 329-ish, we don't see anything, well, till now, we didn't see anything until 15 minutes later, where we see a vehicle at 345 and 349. Well, earlier today, well, not that much, about a few hours ago, I discovered this. $332.44. $332.44. Give me a second, guys. It's coming up here. 332. Right there. 332.44. Vehicle goes, and that is in that same area that we see the other vehicles. Now, what's interesting about this is this now is much closer to just after the Columbarium lights dissipate, right at 329. This is about 3-4 minutes after those lights dissipate. which is very huge when you guys will eventually see the full picture in good time, hopefully sooner than later. It will happen. It just, man, frustrated. Anywho, so we see this vehicle. I'll play it a couple times. Kind of slow motion. I'll show a negative of it. Again, it's right there, moving left to right. Notice, keep in mind, we see one ball of light. One ball of light. Now, if a car was going left to right, just in front of us, if we have, a little window, right, that's straight in front of us, and a vehicle is going left to right at the same, more or less the same level, we should expect to only see one ball of light, right? Even though there's two headlights, but we're seeing the car side faced, right? So we only should see one ball of light, right? Because both, that makes sense. So there it is, slowed down, moving left to right. But what if, and the members and Patreons already know this now, what if there was more than one vehicle, right? This wasn't just one vehicle driving around in a circle or something on the loop. What if we could find definitive proof just by seeing these headlights from over 400 yards away that we could tell that these are two different vehicles? And I'm going to show that. And then there's even more. I think it's a definite possibility. I think he could be near the pond. He could be in the pond, maybe somewhere around the cemetery. For sure, most definitely. And yeah, and hopefully we'll have more answers soon. But again, it's just such a tough time because we have the holidays coming up, and yeah, and then winter, and it's frustrating because we have so many things. And again, I just want to reiterate: the church knows, the pastor knows. The pastor is a really nice guy. He's spoken to a couple people. They have to, so yeah, they know everything. And yeah, there's just something else that's a little bit higher up that we are waiting for. And yeah. So anyway, so we have that vehicle, but here's also the other discoveries about this that make it very interesting. So here's the 332 that I discovered today. And again, keep in mind, one ball of light, which makes sense. It's left to right. It is, oh, yeah, that, it's an understatement, especially being in the position I am, because, I'm a YouTuber. My job is to go live. But at the same time, helping things behind the scenes. And of course, we have to let certain events happen before we can reveal what's the bigger picture and what we've discovered overall, to kind of help piece it all together. So anyway, this is where it gets very interesting, right? Okay, so 332. This is just a time. I just put car because it's a vehicle, right? It's definitely not a person with a flashlight. I mean, there's always a possibility, but I highly doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it. I give it a 1%. They'd have to have a giant flashlight. I'll go over this and then I'll check super chat. Actually, you know what? Let me do this because this will actually take a minute. Let me get through the super chats. Show Poodles, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, Poodles. God bless. It really, really helps. More than you know. I mean, I'm sure you know quite a bit, but yeah, it will really help. You're amazing, Chris. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kiki. And when the time is right, I'll share whatever we can. All right, so 332, our new discovery of a car up on the west end of the loop. Then we have the 345 car. This is all on the 25th. This is where we're kind of focused on. Excuse me. Notice that. And also notice how long we see this light. This is normal speed. Everything you're seeing at the first part is normal speed. Notice we see that for quite a bit longer than the other ones we're going to see. And then at 349, there it comes. Right here. And again, we see another vehicle. So right now we have three vehicles. Now are they the same vehicle and they're just looping around? That's kind of what we thought in the beginning, but then I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. But then I overlaid the lights because I kind of noticed when I'm zoomed out, you'll notice you can see these branches clear, but I kind of noticed that one of the headlights showed up in one spot. They're both all in the same area, right? But notice one of the headlights appeared to be a little bit taller than the other one. And so I thought, you know what? I should take a closer look because this could tell us something. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. So, we see this vehicle. Now, what I did is I put a line right in the middle of the white ball of light, right? And that's a static line, right? So that does not move. And we see it go left to right. This is the 332 that I found earlier today. Now, the next vehicle at 345, well, there is an issue. This vehicle is lower than the first vehicle at 332. And then at 349, a second here, as you can see, and we'll do this again. I'll zoom in a little bit further for you guys. As you can see, those headlights, now again, I know those lines aren't too far apart, but keep in mind how far away we are. That's a huge difference. Which means that is definitely, in my opinion, two different vehicles. One being a truck. Now this is zoomed in more. At 332, I think this is a truck. Notice I've got it right in the middle of the ball of light. Keep in mind, we only see one ball of light. Then look at the difference when we see the 332. The other line was up here. Now, again, I know it doesn't seem much, but remember, we're looking over 400 yards away. If I were to overlap them, the one headlight would literally be on top of the other. There's just no way you're going to get that difference. Also, keep in mind, do you guys notice something? Remember how I've always mentioned one ball of light? Do you guys notice something about the 345 one? As if, small crane digging. I mean, anything's possible, Siggy. Anything's possible. Oh, don't get him started, D. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't give me any ideas. So anyway, what I'm trying to get at. Thank you, Leah. That's big. We shouldn't see that on a road like this, right? Narrow, right? We should see a car going left to right, and we just see one ball of light as it passes through our little window that we can see. But we see two. That can only mean one thing. Oh no, my light. Oh my gosh. All right, 1 second. Oh man. Actually, this would be a good time. 1 second. Thank you, YouTube. Wow. Really? Sorry, my chat. I don't know if I had like a bad internet spike or something. Anyway, give me 1 second here, guys. Come on. Okay. Sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, it's so stupid that does that. It's once in a great while, but it does that to me. All right. Bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Okay. I did start up a new goal. And again, there's PayPal and Venmo. If you don't want to go through the YouTube, because YouTube's going to take a portion. Trust me, second I can reveal more about that specific thing and the funds. Of course, I will not only tell you about it, but I'll show receipts and everything else. But anyway, now that I got this fixed, okay. So yeah, the ball of lights, the two balls of light, right? That is a huge clue. And we'll go more into that in a minute. But let's just finish showing you the lines with the truck and the car. Just one more time. It's zoomed in more here. But as you can see, that first and third light out of the three vehicles, the light is much taller than the car at 345. So that tells me that, you've got, a car or a small SUV that's maybe low to the ground versus a bigger truck. You know, I would think if it was a few inches different, you wouldn't really see, from that far away, 400 yards plus. If it was a few inches off, we wouldn't really know, right? But that is a complete ball of light above the other. I just wish I had a chance to overlay them both, but again, just doing the line thing, you can see that one vehicle is taller than the other. So that tells us that there's two vehicles in there, right? So that just adds even more, right? What are two vehicles doing in there, right? That we know of. They're in there for 40 minutes plus the night before he goes missing. It's a long time to be in a graveyard like that. And on top of that, we don't see them come in the normal entrance, right? You just kind of keep stacking on all these things that just don't make sense for a normal, right? Rational explanation, maybe a drug deal or, whatever. It makes no sense. And it also doesn't make sense. Why are you looping around the damn cemetery? And then, ghost hunting. It'd be the only other thing I could think of. But then, why are you on there back to back days? And yeah, it doesn't add up. Yeah, Lori, and I know, and I cannot wait to tell you guys. So, but trust me, there's to me, there's a lot of exciting stuff. And then, eventually we can put all the pieces together, but you're getting them. So here's the other thing. Back to what I told you guys to notice is the lights, right? So here's where we're looking. Our little daytime. There's our little columbrium. Now, when I first originally saw these vehicles, I thought which made sense to me is I thought that they were coming around this loop right here, and we were just seeing, especially with where we see two headlights, because that means they're facing us. They're facing west. And that would kind of make sense as if they were kind of coming up. And this is kind of on the taller end of things, right? But when looking and doing the distance, that loop, the corner loop, it would be like over here. The way I can tell is I can see the trees. So if you see these trees here, right? These trees in the construction area, I can see those in the daytime shot. They're kind of obscured, but they're here. Right behind these two trees. You can kind of see them. And if you line it up, right, and switch it back over like this, well, that corner loop would be about right there, which would be about right here. But we are over here. We are in the middle of the loop. So that's also an odd thing. I hope that is true, Jane. Believe me, I'm sure everybody would agree that we hope that he is out there somewhere alive, but you just cannot get tunnel vision, right? You can't dismiss leads that are especially this big. There's way too many things going on the night before and the night of him going missing right next door at hours that things shouldn't be going on at this time of hour. It's just way too many. So anyway, so yeah. we see two balls of light. I know it sounds weird to say. That means those headlights are facing us. But this is the thing. They're in the middle of the loop. Why is the car turned that way? Right? We do think we know the answer or have the best guess in theory, I guess, however you want to put it. But that's big. This is very big. Because when you see the sample of the car before it, the truck before it and after, we just see one ball of light, which is what you would expect if it's going left to right. But when you see it like that, that means it's facing us and then turning. Now, notice how the two balls of light start to fade into one as if it's turning, right? That's not normal. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does sidetrack. And trust me, before certain things happen, believe me, Seth will, if he has not been notified, yeah. Trust me, anything that we do that would be on a scale that's very sensitive, of course, Seth would be notified. Right. That would be the obviously the respectful thing to do. Now, I'm sure someone wants to send out to the Stinkfeet family, because obviously if he wandered off, and they love that construction, especially Fish Sticks loves the construction. He's in that pond somewhere. I mean, we're just looking beyond that, all this stuff. I'm surprised, why aren't they? You would think Katie and at the very least Katie would be hitting me up saying, hey, yeah, great find. This is interesting. Maybe he wandered off with his yellow flashlight and he's walked off into the cemetery, and got picked up by these weird people that are in the cemetery. Maybe he walked upon a drug deal going on and was a witness and they had to take care of him, right? Anyway, I doubt I'll get a phone call or an email from him, But again, they had nothing to do with it. I would think, they would probably say, hey, send me an email saying, hey, interesting find. What can we do to help? But I don't know. Not holding my breath for that one. Lori says, lights are from people leaving a ball game. Two vehicles sitting in a graveyard for a long time. The latest private eye did good for Seth. Thank you, Lori. I disagree with the ball game. Who has a ball game at 3 a.m.? I'm sorry, Lori. I don't know. Unless maybe you're saying something else, like maybe that happened earlier, 8 hours before. Do you leave through the cemetery? I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm missing something, Lori. But thank you so much. I did get that. Thank you, Sassy. That is very sweet. I just got that. God bless you. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm seeing some mentions of possible things to do. I promise you guys everything that you guys have mentioned. Not to say that we've thought of everything, but yeah, it's all being looked into or already handled. But we just have to wait. Kelly, thank you for all you do, Chris. Thank you so much, Kelly. God bless you. Anyway, moving on. Here's the other thing. Along with the other discovery. The 349 headlights. Take a look at this. Let me know. I'm not going to reveal. I want to see if anybody can get this. Tell me what you notice about the headlight and what happens to it. Do you guys see the anomaly that happens with that headlight? And I'll show it a couple times. Sometimes it's slow motion and sometimes I speed it up because you can kind of get a better. Sometimes when it's sped up, you can kind of understand its behavior. I almost wish I had the line there because then when the line's there, it really presents itself as something strange. Oh, thank you, Heather. And Rachel. Oh, that's the other day. Okay. Anyway, did you guys catch that? Let me get caught up. Anyone figured it out? Yeah. Yep. Now, with the light that far away, with it going behind an object, right? You would expect, because light gets distorted all the time. With the ball light going behind an object like that way, from that far away, you would expect to see some kind of distortion, right? It getting distorted as it goes behind, probably multiple objects, trees. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a little bit of distortion where maybe it gets kind of like, it like looks like it starts to dissolve up a little bit or dissolves down but this is intense. That is, I would say, in my opinion, that is not normal. And again, if I had the line here, I'll keep my mouse here. Look where my mouse was at. Oops, right here. Mouse was right here. That headlight almost goes up here. Look at that. Look at the difference. That's not normal. Motorcycle. I anything's possible. I mean, you can't just be narrow-minded. I don't know why you'd be on a motorcycle in February. Not to say it's not, people don't do that. I think it'd be super loud. I mean, it depends on if you're not doing anything nefarious, then I would assume, sure, it's certainly possible. But yeah. Yeah, this is on a Sunday night. Well, wait, no, this is the night. No, this would be early Sunday morning, excuse me. There could have been a ball game at like 6 p.m. on Saturday. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, we think we know what it is, and this will probably confuse some people, and I think people will probably think, oh, is it getting put up on a ramp? Is there like a trailer and this vehicle is being put up on a ramp? Which I guess that's possible. But again, we've gone out there and done some research since then. We do think we figured out what caused that. Actually, we think we figured out why we see the lights going west. And we think we figured out why we see this light go whoop. And again, I can't reveal those details now. But when I do, remember when I said what we got here, I think could potentially break the internet when the time is right. Because it all lines up. It's wild. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. But we think we've got the best logical answer, but doesn't mean we have the right answer. Oh, that's such a great question, Joni Lad. Um, they they sent over their footage that they had from that day. I don't know if they sent over footage from the nights before. I hope to God they did. Unfortunately, they don't have their footage anymore because they got a new system, which is unfortunate. But at the very least, what they did have, they did send over at the time he went missing. So that's good. And hopefully that's still out there somewhere. Hopefully with multiple agencies so nothing happens to that footage. Because I do think that footage does hold some answers. But from what I understand, it only really covered the church area. So I think they had up to 12 cameras. Now, keep in mind, most of those were inside the church, but they did have a few. I'd assume probably looking at the parking lot. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Maybe one looking out this way somewhere. But obviously, everything that's going on is back here. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they were out this way is because they knew, I mean, look, you got the construction, which obviously nothing's going to be going on after what 6 p.m., 7 p.m., right? At that time of year, because it gets dark about what 5:30, 6 p.m. In February. So you really have nothing you have to worry about that somebody's going to stumble across from the west. You got farms, you got nothing to the north, right? So, if you want to do some nefarious activity, your west is covered, your northwest, everything's covered there. And you really have the school, but most of this area, again, who's going to be back here at that time of night. And so really you're closed off. And frankly, in an area that, and again, unless you got ghost hunters in there, who's going to be in the cemetery? Yeah, Bobcat would be loud. Yeah. Um yeah, but so anyway, don't let your imagination get too wild with the ramp up. I mean, still think about it. I mean, I'm sure again, I think we have the best logical answer. And again, I just can't say it for right now. In good time. And it'll make sense. It'll make sense, especially it'll line up with the lights where we see it facing west, the two headlights. It'll all kind of put itself together. So no, we're talking Bobcat, like a machine, because they use like a little Bobcat when they're doing graves. They have their little special Bobcat that they do. Anyway, I think it's called a Bobcat. Oh, thank you, Evans from Wyoming. God bless you for the $4.99. I really appreciate it. It really helps, and I promise you, there's some people in here behind the scenes that know a little bit more and know that what we're doing is really big. Henry Doc, good to see you. Member for 35 months. Holy hell. Almost got that 3-year mark. That's awesome. Heavy equipment light. Hey? Yeah. Yeah, Jane, and I'd be honest, like, who's going to go out of their trouble to do that? And again, you got to remember this happened on the 25th and the 26th, right? So yeah, just way too much going on. And again, if you look at it, this is the night he went missing. Here's just kind of, we have a 3 a.m. car, and then we have a 303 car, and then we have the 310 lights all in the neighborhood here. And then what are the odds that at 340, and I'm sure before that they're already in there, 10 to 15 minutes later, we have stuff going on in the cemetery the night that he goes missing. Similar stuff that we saw on the 25th, except we just don't see the vehicles up there. We still see the Columbium lit up. Now, I'm still looking. There could be stuff there. Again, I would not be surprised if I find more stuff. So yeah, very strange, and I don't think it's a coincidence. There's way too much stuff going on in that amount of time in that close of area, right? Yeah, Chris says a lot of things that I do wonder. Does he give us? What do you mean? Yeah, you understand that? Jesus. Sorry. Yeah, I do think Chris does give. He rambles on, and he starts to kind of speak, little truths, right? Little nuggets in there of his little ramblings. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Sassy, again. Oh, God bless you. I appreciate you guys. I promise you guys, sorry, read chat. You guys will get the answers. We just have to wait. And it sucks because we're like I said earlier at the beginning of the live, we got Christmas around the corner. And then anytime it could snow. So, but literally we're literally waiting on one thing. And then it's green light, right? But then so I'm always hoping I wake up, the next day, get that text or email, and then things can progress, and then shortly after that is done, which wouldn't take long, then we can talk about what we found. And then there's so many more possibilities. It doesn't matter what we may or may not discover. Still, whatever went down, at the very least, there was a meeting that happened, at the church the night he went missing. At the very least. Always curious. Thank you so much for the $4.99. God bless you. And hearts from Julie. Oh, that's a cute name. Thank you so much for becoming a member and supporting this channel. All right. Let's skip over. So we've gone over the 26th, and if you haven't seen it, you can check out my previous lives. I kind of go over more what happened on the night he went missing and what we see on that night and the different vehicles. These are vehicles seen at the school. And then you add in the fact that Katie goes to that school and was seen allegedly on that camera near where these cars were seen. I don't think that's a coincidence either. Then we have the car leaving at 3:53, caught on multiple cameras. And And yeah. So anyway, yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff. Does the church back Drake's Creek? Like, are you saying like Drake's Creek's around in there? Is that what you're saying? Um, I can tell you they are aware of some of the stuff I've found. I can tell you that for sure. But I think we are going to have to do some stuff to push them, right? To say like, hey, look at what they're doing, and then go, why are we doing this? This is your job, you know, right? Back to where I'm like, at the end of this, it's like, who do I send the bill to? Anyway, I don't care because money is. I don't care about money really. Anyway, so Stranger in the Cemetery. I have not watched this, so this is just another thing to add on to the weirdness of stuff around this area. I have not seen this. Cutie pie. In other words, can you eventually put all the lights and cars in order, please? Yeah. No, I think it's. Are you just like trying to say like, will you eventually be able to put the bigger picture together? If that's what you're asking, and yes, that's why I'm saying there's things that we have that, in my opinion, could break the internet. I know I probably should stop saying that because I don't want to overhype it, but in my opinion, yeah. And again, I can't talk about it now, but that's why it's so frustrating in the position I'm in. But it'll be huge. Yes, it will put a lot of it together for sure, especially with the vehicles and the Columbium, the light. Yeah. So anyway, I am so curious to watch this because I have not watched this. I've only heard about it, and oh yeah, that's what you're. Yes, yes, 100%. Now, will we have everything 100% right and accurate? I mean, we can, uh, maybe not, but I think we've got a pretty. I think we got a pretty good idea of what was allegedly going on to a point, right? Because again, I mean, there's still a lot we don't know, and probably won't unless this case, there's gets solved. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen real quick. Here, let's see. How does this start out?
Evil, CJ's Media and Investigations, and Trey from Narcotic Divers.
Okay, I gotta use the restroom real quick, so I'm gonna go full screen. So this is what's even more wild is so if you're coming in late and missed what I said earlier, is CJ he's covered Sebastian. He's gone out there and searched, and then Narc Divers Trey from Narc Divers was also out there. And so they were out there, and I forget, maybe somebody knows in chat, when they were exactly out there. I think a few months after he went missing, and they had allegedly their serpentine belt cut, and there was some stranger following them. And this is wild. So I'm gonna go full screen real quick so I can use the restroom, but I'm gonna play this. And I'm really curious to hear what happened here.
Spent the day searching the bushy areas between the cemetery. 2025.
Sorry, she gives the date, so I'm trying to go back to the video. Okay, here it comes.
Hello, Sebastian's Army. It's been a while. Today is December 15th, 2025, almost 2 years from the day Sebastian disappeared. With the recent talk about the cemetery close to Sebastian's neighborhood, I felt compelled to make this video. On September 22nd, 2024, CJ from Evil CJ's Media and Investigations and Trey from Narked Divers spent the day searching the bushy areas between the cemetery and Beach High School. Keep in mind, this was during a time searchers were being threatened and harassed on almost a daily basis. For examples of some other of these threats, see my video called The Threats of Sebastian Rogers Case. I'll add the link in the description. Also in the description is a link to CJ's video, or his live, rather, which I am going to summarize in this video. The purpose of this video is to bring you a Cliff Notes version, or a shortened version of CJ's live, which was over an hour and a half long. To make a long story short, a suspicious man began watching them as they trekked through the woodsy area between the cemetery and Beach High School. Twice they saw the man driving by very slowly around the cemetery, watching them. The third sighting of the man happened when they reached a clearing where they saw him sitting next to some tombstones in the cemetery. I've created this Google map to help you understand the location of everyone involved that day. After the first half of their search, they went back to CJ's car in the cemetery parking lot to find the serpentine belt was completely missing. CJ and Trey cannot say for sure this stranger was responsible. I'll let you make your own decision on that. Keep in mind that responsible parties normally go back to the crime scene to ensure no one has disturbed the scene, allegedly and in my opinion. This is all alleged and in my opinion. If in fact the cemetery is important to the case, then it could be important for us to be on the lookout for this man's car, a white four-door station wagon. Unfortunately, CJ and Trey did not get a video of the man or the car, but CJ and Trey did their best to identify the car. They feel it.
So, sorry, I want to pause here. And yeah, huge shout out to Cliff Notes. I'll be honest, I have not heard of them until now. Again, I don't follow a lot of other YouTubers much, because I'm usually just doing my own thing. So that's obviously not a knock to anybody else. But yes, that's amazing. I'll try to get their link to their video in the description. I don't know if I had a chance to, but I will. And thank you to Sassy for putting the link to it. And I'll try not to play the whole thing so that way you guys can go and watch it. But I just want to ask somebody, because I'm sure there's probably some car people in here. I know we saw Alan in here earlier, and Trent. Is it often that a serpentine belt can break? Like how often? I guess I could just look this up, right? If anybody knows, how often is it for a serpentine belt to break like that? Is my question.
It was either a 2015 Subaru Outback hatchback or a 2015 Volvo V60 wagon. And I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who makes these videos in search of Sebastian. I forgot how time consuming and difficult they are to make. Thank you for watching. Credit to Evil CJ and Narked Divers. Here is your Cliff Notes version of their live on September 22nd, 2024.
All right, so that's the area that we searched today and still had to fix the car. Right there, that's what we searched while we had car issues. It's crazy looking at it right now, dude, from the bird's eye going, damn.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, that's exactly where that's it.
All the way over to here, too.
It looks really good.
That's where you check the other side of
Yep, underneath the bridge.
And obviously, we didn't need to check that because it's just wide open. So, I'm going to show you guys where we were at and where that car was at. Take a screenshot. It's crazy when I'm looking at it from here, man.
The one backside was like 2 miles, and that was just that section. So, give or take, I'd say at least 4 miles worth of back and forth.
We did like the bottom of the T, and then we had to fix the car, and then we did the top of the T, basically.
Hold on,
I'm
Chad,
going to show you
looking
guys
up
what we were
something.
talking about, right? So, we were about, I think we were over here, because there was like the fence, I think the fence kind of went like in the middle.
They kind of opened up a little bit, I think.
To the right. Well, that's right there. That's when this is the spot where we made it right here. We were walking down here. We were walking down here because Trey was going to go to the right, I was going to go to the left, and then we were going to kind of zigzag and then meet. And as we were right here, that's when we seen the guy sitting literally right there. He was sitting at the top of this drive right here. So he was here, and we were all the way back here. And that's when we seen him sitting at the top of that hill.
We even looked at each other like, what's this person up to? Proceeded to do our search.
I guess, man, because I sat there and I'm like, I don't see anybody walking around either. He was just kind of sitting there. But, I mean, we probably should have, because we were in the middle of the trees here.
Like, it was one of those things, both of our instincts went off at the same time. We looked at each other, and we just kind of passed, but our gut said, you should probably just go over there and just check it out for a second.
Yeah, that's where we were parked. So we were parked right here. And you made your way this way, I made my way this way.
Yep.
We met here in the trees, and we kind of like checking both, because the fence kind of runs like right along here. Like the fence kind of runs like right there. So we were in these, and it's thick and it's brushy, and when we're in these woods, and then you see this car going real slow, kind of driving by, but really we're just we're in the woods, and it's like, hey, it's a cemetery, like who's gonna, you know what I mean? It's like slow night drive slow. They're trying to find their their loved one or something. It was just really weird. And then turns around and goes this way, because I watched him turn and then come back down.
Whoa.
And then by the time we were probably here.
So they're searching in the tree line between the cemetery and the school, and this vehicle drives around the loop, which is where all our activity is going on. And I just wanted to show you guys what I researched on ChatGPT, my best friend. What's common when it comes to the serpentine belt? And so just a quick thing rundown here, and then we'll get back to the video. Likelihood of a serpentine belt breaking, not snapping, but just breaking. 5 years, rare. 5 to 8 years, occasional. 8 to 15 and plus, more common. Then I asked it, can you drive on it after it snapped or broke? It said, usually under 5 minutes, without the engine overheating. So I guess you can drive on it a little bit until the car. But here's the big red flag. And again, I'm not a car guy, so any car people want to put their 2 cents. I asked it, does it usually snap off or break, or do they usually go loose? Because I understand a lot of times, usually, I know other belts, they just get loose, and so the short answer is, they usually don't snap. They develop gradually, and they start to get stretched, worn, and slip. And so it's saying basically it's not impossible. obviously, but usually they just fail by getting worn out. They're stretched. They don't snap. So it said that it is pretty uncommon for it to actually snap. So keep that in mind. That is wild.
We're making our way up here, going through all this brush, especially right here. It was pretty thick. Going through all of it, and then we're kind of walking here, and then that's when we see him right there.
Yep, right in the middle almost.
Yeah. So that's what went down there.
I've searched for people. I don't want to start the whole speculation game, but I've searched for grown adults that where even the police are saying, "Hey, look, it is foul play," and we don't get any threats from the person that they're looking at, like ever. And they know we're out there searching for them.
Yeah.
I don't know, just weird.
Very, very, very. The guy didn't. Well, nobody said anything.
Yeah, it was more of a sneaky person. I would say.
Yeah, my serpentine belt magically disappeared.
That is.
And I showed you guys on the stream too, because I was like, I ain't fucking playing. Like I took the camera, I showed you. Look, the belt's gone.
I took a picture just in case. I was like, I'm taking a picture.
The belt is gone. We're like.
So from the time that you had issues, and then
that is
you didn't go anywhere, really?
We basically because we even pulled in here. We drove down this road. We drove all the way down to here, and
where the gate
had
is,
like a fenced-in, locked gate. So we're like, oh shit.
And they said locked.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
Because
So
it was supposed to be an access road.
So keep in mind, it was locked when they were out there. Now I know more recent times people have been out there and have seen the gate like opened or unlocked. But it seems like the older stuff that I looked at, nowhere have I seen it been unlocked. It's always been locked. So keep that in mind as well. Because we do believe that, until I can find something where I see them coming in through the church on the 25th, especially, I don't know how they got in either through this or they came in through like the off-roading through the school area.
So then we turn around and then we're driving this way. Everything's fine. We come back down here. We go to here. We park right here. Everything's fine.
Right by the Columbrium.
Wrong. Then all of a sudden we go to leave after.
So they parked right by the Columbrium.
We're like.
So from the time that
Sorry,
you
I
had
went back a
issues,
little bit.
You didn't go anywhere, really?
We basically because we even pulled in here. We drove down this road. We drove all the way down to here. And
Yeah, it's a great question, Sasha. We're trying to figure that out.
We're like, oh shit. Well, okay, because it was supposed to be an access road. So then we turn around and then we're driving this way. Everything's fine. We come back down here. We go to here.
Oh,
we park
that's
right
nice.
here. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Then all of a sudden we go to leave after that guy was doing all that weird shit, and then all of a sudden, all of a sudden something's weird with my car. I'm like, something ain't right. It's like my tire's flat or my power steering went out or something. And then so we were, I backed up. I drove up here, backed up, drove forward to get some footage of this area right here with my GoPro side cam. And then as I'm driving here, all of a sudden it's like, geez, something's up with the car. Something don't seem right. And then we get here, and all of a sudden my lights are going ting, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the hell? And then we just literally pull over and park in a parking spot, and that's when pop the hood. Your belt's gone, bro. What?
I said, pop your hood. We'll check out your power steering pump. I was thinking it might need, your fluid may need taken out, and we could just put some new fluid in it. I think it'd probably be good for checking for shavings. And we popped it, and I went to look for the power steering reservoir, and I look, and I'm like, what the heck? Like the belt's gone.
So I don't know. It just disappeared. I'm not saying the dude that was up at the top of this hill.
We can't say 190% that was the person or whatever, but we've had some
suspicious,
just some weird, man.
Yeah, it just adds on to everything, that we've heard in this case where just threats and people being weird. Something you just never, just unheard of when it comes to, especially a missing child, right? People getting threatened, and not just little random individuals that might be accidentally trespassing on somebody's property. I mean, these are like Cajun Navy. I mean, these are people that are um representatives. It's wild.
That's all I can say this time.
Dude, this whole spot was weird.
That's the thing. We don't. It was a white SUV. I know that for sure. We
White
can't say that they did or didn't.
We're gonna check out some serpentine belts. Don't just poof. No, they don't. There's only 3.
Yeah, that's what I looked up. Chat GPT. Usually they go loose. It's not impossible for it to snap. It did say they can snap. But yeah, usually they just get worn out. They get loose. I'm sure a lot of us have heard when other, I think it's timing belts that usually we hear people driving around. I don't know, maybe serpentine belts do that too. Again, I'm not a car person, so but yeah.
And it was gone. We looked all.
I guess any belt that goes loose would probably make some funky noises. Oh, my husband's a right. Oh, okay.
All over the freaking car inside.
I thought this next
Husband
part
says,
of CJ's
"Oh."
live was interesting because it shows video footage of the cemetery, which is important to those of us who live outside the state of Tennessee and don't have the luxury of visiting the cemetery on our own. CJ shows his GoPro footage as he's entering the cemetery. I've highlighted in yellow on the 2 maps shown here what I believe is his route during this part of his GoPro footage.
I'm gonna have to find this original live. Does anybody know? I'm assuming
like a wagon,
it's up there.
like a hatch wagon.
I'd like to get a good look at this vehicle if it's possible. Hey, Bungie, Courtney.
It was a Subaru, but I can't tell you.
All right, so I'm gonna show you. Let me check out the GoPro. I'm gonna see what this is real quick. So this is my
I might
side
need
cam.
get the original footage.
What's up, Beach Bum? There we 2017 Prius hatchback. I'm gonna look that up. And
I mean, it could have been, man, because it had the weird back end.
yeah, it did.
Like,
I'm gonna look up that.
That's the only reason I thought it was a Subaru, because it had that, like, the back engine, which is funky.
Subarus are funky. Prius hatchback.
Let's see. So, there's the Columbrium. That's the pond.
Let's see. Prius 2017 Prius hatchback.
Yeah, maybe in a future live we'll have the original footage, or the better quality footage. I appreciate Cliff Notes for what they did. This is awesome, and we'll get that link to that to support them. But there's the Columbrium right there.
So I like to get like side footage too, as I'm driving. That's why I hit mute. When you go to these side views and things like that, just hit mute.
A major progress, Sasha. More than people may even fully realize.
And if you have a wind protector on the GoPro, it just burns the hell up and shuts off after a minute and a half, so it's a waste. So anytime you see these side ones.
This would be the only other entrance that they could come in, right? I don't know if you can really come in off. One second here. Sorry. Off this back road here, like to cut in through the school, because I think it's fenced. This tree line here. Pretty sure it's all fenced. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe there's a gap in there somewhere that they could cut through and come back in through this way here. But the only other way would be the school. You come in, and this is where we saw cars, right? We saw cars on the night he went missing here, looping around at 347, 349, and 351 in this area. So it's certainly plausible, and we've seen the kind of the helicopter footage, and it's not, it's certainly possible you would, might need an SUV, something with a little bit of clearance, right? But it's totally doable. Now they definitely have a road that goes back in here that you can come in from this way now. I think that goes around the back here. So it's changed a lot back over here. But again, they came in my opinion, until we find something else. They, at least on the 25th, they came in through the back.
Just hit you. So these are all the woods that we were searching through.
Notice the upcoming dirt mound.
Yeah, from this angle, it looks like a basic tree line, but I assure you, there's sticker bushes. It's thick.
Oh yeah, I mean, you'll see the footage when we're inside. And
Did they show the vehicles? Anybody know?
Outside.
There's the big opening right there.
It looks huge.
It does, don't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Strangler, good to see you.
And you'll see it get a little thicker.
Peaceful
Oh, that's
protest. Ooh. I like that. I like the sound
that's
of
so
that.
sad.
Oh, whoa, that's interesting. Yeah, wasn't he chaining a belt? Oh, that's creepy. Marianne. Yeah, wasn't he changing a belt? Serpentine belt?
Yeah, we're gonna let me see here. Subaru. We'll do
in Memphis.
all right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure
side
Hyde said we
cam.
know.
Let me see. Let's go. All right. So this is when you're starting. It's just rocky and
Is that where the car's at? Okay.
thorn brushes. Trying to see how many.
We're a lot closer the first time.
I think it was like right. Might have been right here or something. And then the other time was, I guess I had my stuff packed up right here. Oh, and you were up here, and we met up here.
I may not see him the second time.
But the camera was back there.
Oh no, because I had a good vantage point because I was on higher ground.
Yeah, you were over
That's
here.
weird.
Because you were on this side.
Yes.
I was inside here.
Wow, that's so weird.
Yeah, and then you were doing this spot. And then I checked this area right here. And then this was just basically, you could see all the way through it. And you got done here, and then we ended up meeting right there. And then that's when we looked back and we could see. I mean, that was it. He was going by slow. Twice. When we get to that spot, it's like, oh, wait a minute. We'll have to try and figure out what that car was.
I think that's it. I just could have swore the back end was pointer or something in the back. I don't know.
Like rounded. Oh, hey, hold on a minute. Look at this blue car. That blue car, man.
That is a possibility.
That resembles a lot more, I think.
The back taillights.
It
Now,
was
did they actually have footage, or did they
the way
just?
the back end sits up. What is that?
This says Volvo. It looks like, what kind of hubcaps are those? Volvo. It's a Volvo.
The way the back end goes up.
And it's longer.
Oh, that's creepy.
To me, that resembles it more than the Subaru, man.
Back end goes up.
Volvo V60. I mean, it's close. It is close. It's a lot closer to me than any of the other ones that we've looked at tonight.
I looked.
So they're just kind of going through the cars that they saw. They just unfortunately didn't capture them on the video. That's a shame. I mean, it's still helpful, obviously, and I'm sure they probably have a good idea. They definitely said that the back hatchback, and I know what they're talking about. Yeah, like this, where it's kind of a unique hatchback. And yeah, that's definitely a good clue if the car has anything to do with what they experienced. But hey, Bo, good to see you. Hey.
I don't like that is odd, but maybe they're just visiting. But when you said it again, I'm like, are you serious?
That is weird. That is weird.
And then this one right here, right?
Yeah. I can't tell you at all what the rims look like.
Yeah, I can't either.
That's
Like,
too
it's
bad.
too far. It's too far away.
Uh,
I'm saving these. Maybe when we're out there, it'll
Pop back up.
yeah. Or maybe if we go for another drive over there, maybe dude will show up again. Maybe I'll do that.
and it was
Just
a guy,
go
right?
park
If
there
I
and see
recall, I
if
heard it was like a
dude
guy.
shows back up.
Oh, I have no idea if that's monetized music or not. Oh. So anyway, so I guess that's like their two best guesses right now. Some kind of Subaru Outback, or now they said it was white, right? If I recall, but they're saying it could be something like this, but just white. If I recall, correct me if I'm wrong. That is weird. I mean, that's a lot of strange coincidences, you know, going on. Maui says white Wagoneer from Texas Roadhouse. Ooh. There's a couple of people that may or may not know. There's some people in the chat that like Hindsight that have studied a great deal of the Texas Roadhouse footage. Probably know most vehicles that we're seeing around there that night. That's possible, Siggy. It's certainly possible. Said it had tall backlights. Oh, yeah, so more like the... Oh, that's why he was looking at the Volvo. Ah, that makes sense. So as the bigger, taller, the higher up. Interesting. So it could have been like a white Volvo then. Volvo wagon, maybe. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, that's creepy, man. That is weird. And then just to finish up here, and then because we're at just about the 2-hour mark here. You add in, and I'm not going to show which property, but so you have Ward Lane. Obviously, we have all this activity here, you know, cemetery. Keep in mind, one of these properties up here, I don't know if there was more than one, but I'm pretty sure one. Again, I'm not going to show which one, but they did not want people searching on the property, which is also weird. Or it could just, you know, be a stubborn old farmer, you know. But again, it's, you know, something you got to take note of because it's within the vicinity of, you know, Sebastian disappearing, and with all the activity over here, again, just a lot of stuff going on here that there's just too much that you cannot overlook this until we've cleared as much as we can, right? But yeah, prayers to Seth if he's in here. I'm not sure. It's hard to see everybody, but if you're in here, Seth, is always thinking of you, and of course Sebastian. We got our leads that we're looking into, and we got people looking in at other. We're exploring all options. You know, got to. No tunnel vision with us. But anyway, if you missed it, I'm just going to recap this, and then we'll have more. I'll try to do another makeup show for tomorrow as well, since I missed a couple. But again, another vehicle spotted on the night before he went missing at 3:32, going left to right. And then the other thing is that when matching the vehicles, the headlight levels, there's a clear difference between one and the other two. Or actually, one, two, the 332 and the 349, they're much higher than the 345. So that tells me that that's two different vehicles, likely a car and a truck, driving around on the night of the 25th, going around the loop. There's also more. We've talked about how we see the two headlights almost facing us, which at that area that shouldn't be normal because they're like in the cemetery. And then the light that swoops up, again, light gets distorted, but in this fashion, it is kind of abnormal to have a light get distorted up so drastically like that. Again, like I said, I'd expect to see a little bit, but that's extreme. But when we did our test out there, and some recent discoveries behind the scenes, we're pretty sure we've figured out what's going on. I can't say we know 100%, but I think we have a pretty, probably the best theory out there at this time. But unfortunately, we have to wait on that. But anywho. I don't know. White four-door deck. Oh yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Paige Turner, for the $4.99, and I promise you guys, when the time is right, I will tell you, what those funds will be used for. But I have a lot of people who have been with me for many, many years and know that if I'm asking for funds for a particular project, they will be used appropriately. So, and again, we just have to be patient. Just kind of really tough timing, with the holidays and everything. But the second we get answers, we will reveal them. C investigates. Thank you so much for the $4.99. Hey Jude, I emailed you a pic of the white. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Okay, Juju, thank you for the 3 months. I did get your respond. It's possible. I don't want to make it out like I'm some big streamer. But I just want to reiterate, they do know some of the circumstances. So, Sassy, thank you so much for gifting a Mob Crew membership. As always, thank you so much for your support. Cooper says, thank you for all you do, praying we get answers soon. I hope so. One thing I'll leave off with, no matter what happens with what we do, whether it's in the next week, next 2 weeks, month, just really it's all timing. But we have contingency plans that I'm just as excited for if we don't get anything, because there's still stuff going on. No matter what, that's unnormal. That's abnormal activity for that, those 2 days in a row at that time of night. At the very least, that was some kind of maybe moving Sebastian into another car and changing a plate and then leaving, right? So at the very least, there's something there that they need to, look closer into at the very least. Now, could there be even more nefarious activity? Certainly plausible. We will not leave anything on the table, but we will definitely have other things that will lead into a constant. Trying to look here. But we will be able to use our what we're doing to also kind of hopefully make law enforcement start doing their jobs, right? Because I think it looks, in my opinion, it looks embarrassing that you got a bunch of YouTubers, and not even all YouTubers, it's just people behind the scenes that are just good Samaritans or whatever you want to call them doing all this stuff. And it's like, at one point, does law enforcement kind of let go, man, maybe we should start doing our jobs, because holy hell, this case should have been solved. Certain people should be behind bars a long time ago. Pull your head out of your asses. What else can I say? Anyway, Merry Christmas. It's kind of early, but happy holidays to everybody. Should have a live tomorrow to kind of make up for stuff. I probably will have new stuff that I've discovered. I thought I saw some more stuff in the surveillance, but I wasn't 100%. So, and yeah. But thank you, Cooper. Merry Christmas to all, he says. They say, I'm sorry. Cooper says, Merry Christmas to all and God bless. Right back at you. We don't know 100%. Some people, Saturday night. It's possible. Yeah, I think I got it. Yes, I did get it, your email. So thank you. Awesome. I will look at it. I promise you. All right, guys, I'm out here. Prayers for Seth, Sebastian during this holiday season. I know, I can't imagine. And Chris, for all your hard work, keep Sebastian's name alive. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kelly. And again, there's so many more people behind the scenes that deserve just as much credit. But yeah. All right, guys. We'll do pet outro. I know some new people sent in pets. Maybe this weekend, if I get some time, I'll add those in. So just be patient with me. But for now, happy holidays. Be safe. Stay warm. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Tried for you, you wouldn't play alone. I got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you beg me please. Hey. Now I stay away, you were never meant to save me. Now I stay away, I wanna hear you say you're sorry. Hate that I even love you, hate that I fell in love with you. Hate that I even loved you, hate that I kinda fell in love.